Rohit Sharma is normal now, just a player, one of the team, a dude amongst dudes. But just recently, he had a position of captain of a cricket team where hundreds of millions of people argue about every single decision. And now he's a pleb, just another name on the team sheet, which is a big shift from being Rohit Sharma, Indian captain. He retired from T20 internationals in a blaze of World Cup glory. His last act in Tests was dropping himself from the 11 as captain while saying that this is not a retirement decision. It turned out to pretty much be a pre-retirement decision. And the last thing he would do as Test captain. His ODI leadership was crowned, albeit with a smaller crown, with an unbeaten stroll through the Champions Trophy. But when India take on Australia for the ODIs, he would be back to the ranks of an ordinary player. His reign as captain wasn't so long that the length of it leaves a legacy, nor was it short enough to be a footnote. The way cricketing memories work, if his team had a different result in just one match, he would have been hailed as a leader supreme. But India lost to Australia for the 2023 World Cup, and that is also now forever on his resume. The Indian side that Rohit took over was strong in all three formats, but it is perhaps in ODIs, the only format he plays now, where he left his most telling imprint. When we look at Rohit the captain, or Rohit the player, it is the one-day internationals that his legacy will be the strongest in. From no-hit to double-ton machine to the man willing to risk it all for a fast score, Rohit Sharma lived many lives as an ODI player and still has one act to come. Watch every match with Nord. Head to nordvpn.com/good areas to get a discount on VPN. Play safe with Nord. Rohit Sharma has an extraordinary win percentage as ODI captain, behind only Clive Lloyd. He's ahead of Ricky Ponting and even Virat Kohli. It's true that great teams make for great captains. Let me explain the streak war parallax. There is no inherent evidence to suggest that his streak would have been a lesser captain than Steve Waugh if their roles and nationalities had just been swapped. Your results as captain mirror the quality of the players on your bus. In Rohit's case, though, particularly in ODIs, he was one of the great players that made up his own great side. And maybe more crucially, one of the agents of change that elevated an already terrific side. He did this by radically altering his own game since he became skipper. The extreme transformation is shown by our true values metric. Rohit became the regular ODI opener for India from the start of 2013. He assumed full-time captaincy at the start of 2022. Before 2013, Rohit was just a middling player. Once he began opening, he transformed into this elite run scorer. When he became captain, though, he channeled the spirit of Virender Sehwag, while still scoring well above par. This is outrageous, a slogomorphosis. Since 2022, Rohit has been outpacing his fellow openers at the same rate that Sehwag and Adam Gilchrist used to do 2 decades prior. He's even been quicker than Travis Head, the Travis Head. And of course, there's a little bit of runflation in here and everything as well, because everyone plays a little bit quicker now, and there's also a lot more runs scored. But it's worth noting that Rohit is still comparable when you look at how much faster he is than everyone else. He is comparable to Sehwag and Gilchrist, while also making more runs than they did. Again, outrageous. And maybe the most crucial difference here is that Sehwag and Gilchrist were all given license by their captains to go out and play the way they did. They had the power, but they weren't burdened by responsibility. The captain does not have that luxury. So Rohit adopting this approach is remarkable. It's comparable to Ben Stokes in the early days of baseball when he batted like his arse was on fire. That Rohit's done all this as Indian captain is really quite unheard of, though. Even AB de Villiers, the most naturally gifted batter of his generation, didn't quite reach Rohit levels of fast scoring when he was leading South Africa. Most players become more cautious as captain. Instead, Rohit became more Sehwag. Perhaps he knew that given India's batting quality and depth, whacking was the best option for the team. He might also have thought that if he was asking his batters to give up runs for better strike rates, he needed to set an example. Again, Stokes. Captaincy tends to make batters feel more responsible. But Rohit used the security that came with the position to play a more aggressive and therefore risky brand of cricket. Rohit 1.0 set a template that he honed to near perfection. He would turn a 50 over innings into like a mini test match and follow the adage of give the first hour to the bowler and take the rest for yourself. He would begin cautiously, gradually ticking over, continue to accelerate after that, and then explode at the death. Rohit 2.0 has inverted that. He tears out of the blocks and keeps going hard. So the big scores don't come as often, But India win a lot more under Rohit than they did earlier. The knock-on effect of Rohit doing what he did since 2022 was felt by everyone around him. India hasn't lacked for top-order batting talent in generations, so it's not as if they've suddenly started having more skilled batters from 2022. But the job of those in the top 5 was made a little bit easier in that period because Rohit was disrupting bowling plans and rendering the shine and seam of the cricket ball redundant quicker than had ever been done before. Rohit also needed time to settle into this new aggressive method, accounting for the settling in period and within a lower sample size. The others in the top 5 still experienced an overall uptick in their returns from 2022 onwards. The average went from 46.07 to 46.64, while the strike rate moved from 92 to 93.5. So the team remained scoring lots of runs and did so slightly quicker as well. It seemed like Rohit the batter needed Rohit the captain to be unleashed. The trend of teams playing fewer ODIs has been a steady one, but most teams begin to play more of the format in the lead up to a World Cup. And while India have hardly played 50 overs cricket since that last edition, they did play a reasonable amount in 22 and 23. And similarly, they played a lot in 2018 and 2019 before the previous World Cup. In that edition, India had a top 3 who had been piling on the runs with amazing consistency and speed, but ended up not really having a settled middle order. In 2023, they sorted that out with Shreyas Iyer and KL Rahul getting enough game time to own the number 4 and 5 spots. Some of this also came down to the natural evolutions in player life cycles, but some of it can actively be managed as well. There was a lot more churn in the lead up to the 2019 World Cup than there was in 2023. That excludes players like Hardik Pandya or Washington Sundar, who were very situation-based rather than being viable options for number 4. So we've focused on that 2018-19 and 2022-23 period because it's the year before a World Cup, and teams should have most of their spots sorted by then. And on top of that, we focused on games where both Rohit and Kohli were playing at the same time. So Rohit, as the captain, was perhaps fortunate to inherit the players that he did, but he can also take credit for helping them reach their current positions. He and the leadership group learned from the errors of the 2019 campaign and some of the T20 tournaments that followed, and had a more concentrated but narrow focus on who their middle order would be for the 2023 edition. The snapshot of how India surged from one World Cup to the next illustrates this best. India were great in 2019, but they hit a spooky level in 2023. As the captain who oversaw that rise, Rohit Sharma's contribution is very strong. They were arguably the best team ever not to win a World Cup, which is not what you want on your tombstone. Also, hello 1983 West Indies team if you're watching. But at the very least, that 2023 team were revived. A bit like a modern Rohit innings, his captaincy was short but impactful and allowed for others to be more successful after him. The anchor-led batting of India was shredded, and they won trophies afterwards because of it. If India get home in that final, Rohit's legacy hires its own speechwriter. Instead, perhaps like Rohit, the T20 and Test player, the footprint is more confused, harder to put into an inspirational nickname. But now he's something else, a 2-time ICC winning captain who returns to the 11. Former captains don't always become regular players easily. It's like Elon Musk returning to coding. It's clunky even if it works. For the longest time, Rohit had the C beside his name. He strode out first, worried about everyone else, and made all the calls. Now he's back to how he started, just a player. Rohit a player. Rohit Sharma is a normal batter now, just faster. Are you as chronically online as Moses Enriquez? Then here's another video for you. Or if you also like books and stuff, you can buy my new one on the art of batting. If you loved this video, hit the bell icon to be notified for more.